Hello and welcome. So there were some technical issues with day three, part one. After I started taking my break, I came back up to check on it, and it said that there were some problems the with the connection. So I think that's why it stopped. So this is a continuation of part one. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience and for the technical difficulties, but I should get right back. I'm going to get right back on track and continue Henry V. But if by any chance, I'm not sure, there could possibly be some technical difficulties with this too, because there were earlier on today. So if by any chance anything happens, then I may not be able to continue today, but I'm going to do as much as I can and try really hard to to be able to do this. So yeah. So that's good. I'm gonna put, because this time the link is a bit further down in the description because I'm explaining the technical difficulties. I'm posting the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS fundraiser link right there. We are only $26 away from providing meals for 440 people, providing home care for 6 people struggling in their fight for AIDS, covering life-saving medications for 1 month for 2 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance, and help paying overdue rent, and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So please check that out. And once again, I'm really sorry for the technical difficulties earlier today, but I'm going to get right to it and continue the stream. Oh, and one last thing, there may be some problems with the playback of day 3, part 1, because because it glitched out. So if the playback ends up not working, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, if the connection is good for day 3, part 1.5 is what I'm calling it, then it should work. Anyways, let's get right to it. This is, in case you don't remember, Act 2, Scene 4 of the life of King Henry V. Enter a messenger. Ambassadors from King Henry Harry, King of England, do crave admittance to your majesty. King, will give them present audience. Go and bring them. Exeunt messenger and certain lords. You see, this chase is hotly followed, friends. Dauphin, turn head and stop pursuit, for coward dogs most spend their mouths when what they seem to threaten runs far before them. Good my sovereign, take up the English sort, and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting. Oop, dropped my pillow here. Let me put that back up. Enter lords with Exeter and train. King, from our brother of England, Exeter, from him, and thus he greets your majesty. He wills you in the name of God Almighty that you divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories that by gift of heaven, by law of nature, and of nations, belongs to him and to and to his heirs, namely the crown of all wide-stretched honours that pertain by custom and the ordinance of times unto the crown of France. That you may know 'tis no sinister, nor no awkward claim, picked from the wormholes of long vanished days, nor from the dust of old oblivion raked. He sends you this most memorable line, gives a paper. In every branch, truly demonstrative, willing you overlook this petty this pedigree, and when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famous ancestors, Edward III, he bids you then resign your crown and kingdom indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger, king. Or else what follows? Exeter, bloody constraint. For if you hide the crown even in your hearts, there he will rake for it. Therefore in fierce tempest is he coming, in thunder and in earthquake like a Jove, that, if requiring fail, he will compel, and bids you, in the bowels of the Lord, deliver up the crown, and to take mercy on the poor souls from whom this hungry war opens his vastly jaws, and on your head turning the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead men's blood, the maiden's groans, for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed in this controversy. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message, unless the Dauphin be in presence here, to whom expressively I bring greeting to. King. For us we will consider of this further. Tomorrow shall you bear our full intent back to our brother of England. Dauphin. For the Dauphin, I stand here for him. What to him from England? Exeter. Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt, and anything that may not misbecome the mighty sender doth he prize you at. Thus says my king, and if your father's highness do not, and grant all demands at large, sweeten the bitter mock you sent his majesty, he'll call you to be so hot in answer of it, that caves and roomy voltages of France shall chide you your trespass, and return your mock in second act of his ordinance. Dauphin. Say, if my father render fair return, it is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England. To that end, as matching to his youth and vanity, I did present him with the Paris balls. Exeter. He'll make your Paris lawver shake for it, where it the mistress court of even to the utmost gain, that you shall read in your own losses if he stay in France. King. Tomorrow shall you know our mind at full flourish. Exeter. Dispatch us with all speed, lest to that himself to question our delay. For he is footed in this land already. King. You shall be soon dispatched with fair conditions. A night is but small breath and little pause to answer matters of this consequence. Excellent. Sorry about that. Okay. Act 3, chorus. Enter chorus. Thus with imagined wing our swift scene flies, in motion of no less celerity than that of thought. Suppose that you had seen the well-appointed king at Hampton Pier embark his royalty, his brave fleet with silken stream, the young Phoebus fanning. Play with your fancies, and in them behold, upon the hempen trackle ship boys climbing, hear the shrill Here, sorry, I lost my place. Oh, here the shrill whistle with doth order give to sounds confused. Behold the threatened sails, borne with the invisible and creeping wind, draw the huge bottoms through the furrowed sea, breasting the lofty surge. Oh, do but think you stand upon this rivage and behold a city on the inconsistent billows dancing. For so appears this fleet majestical, holding due course to her fluor. Follow, grapple your minds to stern age of this navy, and leave your England as dead midnight still, guarded with grandsires, babies, and old women, either past or not arrived to pitch, and prescience for whom is he whose chin is but enriched with one appearing hair that will not follow these cold and choice drawn cavaliers. Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girdered harfleur. Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Henry that the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some pretty unprofitable dukedoms. This offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with livestock now the devilish cannon touches. Alarum and chambers go off, and down goes all before him. Still, be kind, and eke out our performance with your mind. Exit. Act 3, Scene 1. Enter the king, Exeter, Bedford, and Gloucester. Alarum, with soldiers carrying scaling ladders at Harfleur. King. Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace there's nothing so as fearfully it doth a galled rock, or hang and dirty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and become on, you noble English, whose blood is fetched from feathers of from fathers of war-proof fathers, like so many Alexanders have in these parts, from morn till even fought, and seethed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers now. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beg at you. Be a copy how now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeomen, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pastor. Let us swear that you're worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath no noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slits, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit upon this charge. Cry God for Henry, England, and say God for Harry, England, and Saint George. Exeunt. Alarm and chambers go off. Remember, we are still only... Oh, actually, I'm wrong. Actually, someone... Thank you so much to my brother who just donated around $54. Thank you so much. We're now at $628. So thank you so much for donating. So now we have provided sorry, let me think for a sec. We've provided 440 people with healthy meals. We've provided home care for 6 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We've covered life-saving medications for 1 month for 2 men who are out of work and don't have health insurance. And we've paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So thank you so much, Oscar, for your super generous donation. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, now I shall continue. Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Nim, Bardolph, Pistol, and Boy. Bardolph. On, to the breach. Nim. Pray thee, Corporal, stay. The knocks are too hot. And for mine own part, I have not a case of lives. The humor of it is too hot. That is the very plain song of it. Pistol. The plain song is most just, for humors do abound. Knocks go and come, God's vessels drop and die, and sword and shield in bloody field doth win immortal fame. Boy, would I were in an alehouse in London, I would give all my fame for a pot of ale and safety. Pistol. And I, if wishes would prevail with me, my purpose should not fail with me, but thither as I hie. Boy, as dully, but not as truly, as a bird doth sing on brow. Enter Fallen. Fallen. Up to the preach, you dogs! Avaunt, you cullions! Drives them in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Enter Fullian. Fullian, up to the preach, you dogs! Avaunt, you cullions! Drives them in. Pistol. Be merciful, great Duke, to men of mould. Abate thy manly rage. Abate thy rage, great Duke. Good Bawcock, abate thy rage. Use lenity, sweet Chuck. Nim. These be good honor wins bad humors. Exit with all but Boy. Boy. As young as I am, I have observed these 3 swashers. I am boy to them all 3, but all they 3, though they would serve me, could not be man to me. For indeed such antics do not amount to a man. For Baldorf, who is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof faces it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword, by the means whereof breaks words and keeps whole weapons. For Nim, he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, and therefore he scorns to say his prayers, lest it should be thought a coward. But as few bad words are matched with a few good deeds, for it never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against the post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it purchase. Bardolph stole a loot case, bore 20... Sorry, I lost my place. Parts. board 20 leagues, then sold it for 3 halfpence. Nym and Bardolph are sworn brothers in Filtrin, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. I knew by that piece of service that men would carry coals. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or their handkerchiefs, which makes much against my manhood, if I should take from another's pockets to put into mine. For it is plain pocketing up of wrongs. I must leave them and seek some better service. Their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up. Exit. Enter Goer and Flulen. Enter Gower and Fullion. Gower. Captain Fullion, you must come presently to the mines. The Duke of Gloucester would speak with you. Fullion. To the mines? Tell you the Duke, it is not so good to come to the mines. For look you, the mines is not according to the disciplines of the war. The concavities of it is not sufficient. For look you, the adversity, you may discuss unto the Duke, look you, is digit himself 4 yard under the countermines. But Chesu, I think a will plow up all. If there is not better directions. Gower. The Duke of Gloucester, to whom the order of the siege is given, is altogether directed by an Irishman, a very valiant gentleman, I faith. Fullion. Is it Captain Macmorris? It is Captain Macmorris, is it not? Gower. I think it be. Flulen. By Chesu, he is an ass as in the world. I will verify as much in his period. He has no more directions in true disciplines of the wars, look you, of the Roman disciplines than a puppy dog. Enter Macmorris and Captain Jamie. Gower. Here comes the scouts again, Captain Jamie with him. Flulen. Captain Jamie is a marvelous florist gentleman, that is certain, and of great expedition and knowledge in the ancient news, upon my particular knowledge in his directions. By Chesu he will maintain his argument as well as any military man in the world in the disciplines of the pristine wars of the Romans. Jamie. I say good day, Captain Flolan. God dend your worship, good Captain James. Gower. How now, Captain Macmorris? Have you quit the mines? Have the pioneers given o'er? Macmorris. By Krish law, tish ill done. The work ish give over. The trumpet sound the retreat. By my hand I swear in my father's soul. The work ish ill done. It ish give over. I would have blowed up the town, so Krish save me law in an order. Oh, tish ill done. By my hand, tish ill done. Sorry, give me 1 second. Awesome. Okay. Flolan. Captain Macmorris, I beseech you now, will you vouchsafe me, look you, a few disputions with you, as partly touching or concerning the disciplines of the war, the Roman wars, In the way of argument, look you and friendly communication, partly to satisfy my opinion, and partly for the satisfaction, look you, of my mind, as touching the direction of the military discipline, that is the point. Jemmy. It shall be very good, good fate, good Captain's Bath, and I shall quit you with good leave as I may pick occasion. That shall I, marry. Macmorris. It is no time to discourse, so cherish, cherish, save me. The day is hot, and the weather and the wars, and the king and the dukes. It is no time to discourse. The town is besieged, and the trumpet call us to the breach, and we walk and be cherish, do nothing. 'Tis shame for us all. So God save me, 'tis shame to stand still. It is shame by my hand, and there's throats to be cut and works to be done. And there's nothing done, so cherish say me law. Jamie. By the mess ere these eyes of mine take themselves to slumber, I'll thee good service, and I'll league by thee ground for it, or go to death, and I'll pay it as valorously as I may. That shall I surely do, and that is the breath and the long. Mary, I wad full frain heard some question tween you tway. Flolin. Captain Macmorris, I think, look you under your correction. There is not many of your nation, Macmorris. Of my nation? What is my nation? Is a villain and a bastard and a knave and a rascal. What is my nation? Who talks of my nation? Flolin. Look you, if you take the matter otherwise than is meant Captain Macmorris, peradventure, I think you do not use me in that affability as in discretion you ought to use me. Look you, being as good a man as yourself, poth in the disciplines of war, and in the derivation of my birth, and in other particularities. Macmorris. I do not know I do not know you so good a man as myself. So Krish save me. I will cut off your head. Gower. Gentlemen both, you will mistake each other. Jamie. Ah, that's a foul fault. A parley sounded. Gower. The town sounds a parley. Flolin. Captain Macmorris. When there is more better opportunity to be required, look you, I will be so pulled as to tell you I know the disciplines of war, and there is an end. Exit with others. I'll be back in 1 minute. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Um. Okay. Act 3, Scene 3. Enter the king, Henry, and all his train before the gates. King. How yet resolves the governor of the town? This is the latest peril we will admit. Therefore, to our best mercy give yourselves, or like to men proud of destruction, defy us to your worst. For I am a soldier, a name that in my thoughts becomes me best. If I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur till in her ashes she lie buried. The gates of mercy shall be all shut up, and the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, in liberty of bloody hand shall range, with conscience wide as hell, mowing like grass your fresh fair virgins and your flowering infants. What is it then to me if impious war arrayed in flames to be to the like to the prince of fiends to do with his smirched complexion all fell feats in linked to waste and dissolution? What is it to me when you yourselves are cause, if your pure maidens fall into the hand of hot and forcing violation? What reign can hold licentious wickedness when down the hill he holds his fierce career? We may be as bootless spent our vain command upon the enraged soldiers and their spoil, as send precepts to the Leviathan to come ashore. Therefore, you men of Harfleur, take pity of your town and of your people. Whiles yet my soldiers are in my command, whiles yet the cool and temperate wind of grace o'erblows the filthy and contagious clouds of heady murder, spoil, and villainy. If not, why in a moment look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand defile the locks of your shrill, shrieking daughters, your fathers taken by the silver beards, and their most reverend heads dashed to the walls, your naked infants spited upon pikes, whiles the mad mothers with their howls confused do break the clouds, as did the wives of jewelry at Herod's bloody hunting slaughtermen. What say you? Will you yield and this avoid, or guilty in defense and thus destroyed? Enter governor on the wall. Governor. Governor, our expectation hath this day an end. The Dauphin, who of successors we entreated, returns us that his powers are yet not ready to raise so great a siege. Therefore, great king, we yield our town and lives to thy soft mercy. Enter our gates, dispose of us and ours, for we no longer are defensible. King, open your gates. Come, uncle Exeter, go you and enter Harfleur. There remain and fortify it strongly against the French. Use mercy to them all. For us, dear uncle, the winter coming on and sickness growing upon our soldiers, we will retire to Calais. Tonight in Harfleur will we be your guest. Tomorrow for the march are we addressed. Flourish and enter the town. Act 3, Scene 4. Enter Catherine and Alice, an old gentlewoman. Catherine. Alice, je as a stay an angel la terre et tu bien. Oh dear. Looking ahead, this entire scene is in French. Okay, give me 1 second. Hey, Mommy? You want to be on my live stream? There's an entire scene only in French.
Okay, sure, Simon, but I have to do something down here for a minute first.
Okay. Thank you. So, I do not know how to speak French, but my mom does, so she's going to come up here and read this scene.
It's a long scene because I have to check the construction.
It's like a page. Let me just check that there isn't any later on. I forgot that there was French in this.
Yeah, why don't I just start with this?
Okay. Yep. Okay, start here. It's half a page. It's half a page of French.
Okay. I need my glasses. Alice, tu as essayé en Angleterre et tu bien parles langue.
Alice.
Okay. Un peu, madame.
Catherine.
Je te prie, m'enseigner, il faut que l'apprendre à parler. Comment appelez-vous le main en anglais?
Alice.
Le main, il est appelé de hand.
Catherine.
De hand et les doigts?
Alice, and could you please speak up just a bit?
Les doigts, ma foi.
Thanks.
J'oubliais les doigts, mais je me souviendrai. Les doigts, je pense qu'ils ont appelé des fingres. Oui, des fingres. De fingres.
Catherine.
Le main de hand, les doigts de fingres. Je pense que je suis le bon escolier. J'ai gagné 2 mots d'anglais, vistement. Comment appelez-vous les ongles?
Alice.
Les ongles, les appelons de nez.
Catherine.
De nez, excuse, dites-moi si je parle bien de hand, de fingre et de nez.
Alice.
C'est bien dit, madame. Il est fort bon anglais.
Catherine.
Dites-moi l'anglais pour le bras.
Alice.
De arme, madame.
Catherine.
Et le coude?
Alice.
D'elbow.
Catherine.
D'elbow. Je m'en fais de réparation de tous les mots que vous m'avez appris dès à la présent.
Alice.
Il est trop difficile, madame, quand je pense.
Catherine.
Excuse-moi, Alice. Écoute. De hand, de fingre, de nail, de arme, de bilbo.
Alice.
D'elbow, madame.
Catherine.
Oh, Seigneur Dieu, je m'en oubliais de elbow. Comment appelez-vous le col?
Alice.
De nick, madame.
Catherine.
De nick et le menton?
Catherine.
De chin.
Alice.
Catherine.
Oh, Catherine.
De sin. Le col, de nick, le menton, de sin.
Alice.
Oui, sauf votre honneur, en vérité. Vous prononcez les mots aussi droit que les natifs d'Angleterre.
Catherine.
Je ne dû point d'apprendre par la grâce de Dieu et en peu de temps.
Alice.
N'avez-vous pas déjà oublié ce que je vous ai enseigné?
Catherine.
Non, je récitais à vous promptement. De hand, de finger, de nail.
Alice.
De nail, madame.
Catherine.
De nail, de arm, de elbow.
Alice.
Sauf votre honneur de elbow.
Catherine.
Ainsi dis-je elbow, de nick et de sin. Comment appelez-vous le pied et la robe?
Alice.
De foot, madame, et de compte.
Catherine.
De foot et de compte, oh Seigneur Dieu, ils sont les mots de son mauvais, corruptible, gros et impudique, et mon pour les dames d'honneur d'user. Je ne voudrais prononcer ce mot devant les seigneurs de France pour tout le monde. Faux, de foot et de conte. Néanmoins, je récitais une autre fois ma leçon ensemble de hand, de finger, de nail, de arm, de elbow, de neck, de sin, de foot, de compte.
Alice.
Excellent, madame.
Catherine.
C'est assez pour une fois. Allons-nous à dîner?
Exit with Alice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Here. Okay.
Keep it up.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yay. There's no way I could have read that on my own. What are you looking
Just
for?
looking for the things for the mirror.
Okay, because I need to close the door to kind of soundproof it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I see any mirror-related things, I'll get them to you. Thank you. Everyone give my mother a round of applause. That was really awesome. I think she spent a year living in France. I think. Not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure. So yes, to quote Alice, excellent, madame. Okay, Act 3, Scene 5. Enter the King of France. Enter the King of France, the Dauphin, Bretagne, the Constable of France, and others. Thank you, Hero Media Studios. King, 'tis certain he hath passed the river Somme, Constable, and if he be not fought withal, my lord, let us not live in France. Let us quit all and give our vineyards to a barbarous people. Dauphin. O Dieu vivant! Shall a few sprays of us, the emptying of our father's luxury, our scions put us in wild and savage stock, spurt up so suddenly into the clouds and overlook their grafters? Briand. Normans, but bastard Normans, Norman bastards! Mont de ma vie, if they march along, outfought withal, but I will sell my dukedom to buy a slobbery and a dirty farm that nook shot in Isle of Alabon. Whew, there's still more French, but you know what? I'll try my best to read the French. But you know, I may not do so good, but okay, well, I'll try. Constable, Dieu de Batalis, where have they this metal? Is not their climate foggy, raw, and dull, on whom as in despite the sun looks pale, killing their fruit and frowns? Can sodden water a drench for Syrian's jades, their barley broth, decoct their cold blood to such violent heat? And shall our quick blood, speared with wine, seem frosty? Oh, for honor of our land, let us not hang like roping icicles upon our houses thatch, whiles a more frosty people sweat drops a gallant youth in our rich fields, poor we call them, in their native lords. Dauphin. By faith and honor, our madams mock us, and plainly say our metal is bred out, and they will give their bodies to the lust of English youth, to new store France with bastard warriors. Um, Dufont, by faith and honor, our madams mock us and plainly say our metal is bred out, and they will give their bodies to the lust of English youth to new store France with bastard warriors. Britain, they bid us to the English dancing schools and teach lavotas high and swing corantos, saying our grace is only in our heels and that we are most lofty runaways. King, where is Montjoy the herald? Speed him hence. Let him greet England with our sharp defiance. Up, princes, and with spirit and honor edged, more sharper than your words, high to the field. Charles d'Elberth, High Constable of France, you Dukes of Orleans, Bourbon and of Berry, Alencon, Brabant, Bar, and Burgundy, Jacques, Chatillon, Rambers, Vaudemont, Beaumont, Grand Prix, Rosy, and Falconbridge, Fox, Lestrade, Brocat, and Coleris, High Dukes, great princes, barons, lords, and knights. For your great seats now quit you of great shames, bar hairy England that sweeps through our land with pennons painted in the blood of Harfleur. Rush on his host as doth the melted snow upon the valleys whose low vassal seat the Alps doth spit and void his ruin upon. Go down upon him, you have power enough. In a captive chariot into ruin bring him our prisoner. Constable, this becomes the great. Sorry am I, his numbers are so few, his soldiers sick and famished in their match. For I am sure when he shall see our army, he'll drop his heart into the sink of fear, and for achievement offer us his ransom. King, therefore, Lord Constable, haste on Montjoy, and let him say to England that we send to know what willing ransom he will give. Prince Dufont, you shall stay with us in Rouen. Dufont, not so, I do beseech your majesty. King, be patient, for you shall remain with us. Now forth, Lord Constable, princes all, and quickly bring us word of England's fall. Excellence. Act 3, Scene 6. I feel like this play is longer than others. I mean, it's really good. I love it. It's my favorite play, but it is really long. I kind of like the length. What I have left, I have around 24 pages left, so I'm on page 1144 out of 1164. Now, I'm not going in order, so I have not read 1144 pages. That's just the page that's just the pages that Henry, the life of King Henry V is in. Anyways, continuing. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter captains English and Welsh, Grower and Fullion. Grower, how now, Captain Fullion? Flulen, come you from the bridge? Flulen, I assure you there is very excellent services committed at the bridge. Goer, is the Duke of Exeter safe? Flulen, the Duke of Exeter is as magnanimous as Agam Agam Agamemnon, and the man that I love with honor, with my soul and heart, and my duty, and my leave, and my living, and my uttermost, my live, and my living, and my uttermost power. He is not, God be praised and pleased any hurt in the world, but keeps the pridge most valiantly with excellent discipline. There is an ancient lieutenant there at the bridge. I think in my very conscience he is as violent a man as Mark Antony, and he is a man of no estimation in the world, but I did see him do as gallant service. Goer, what did you call him? Flolan, he is ancient pistol. Glower, I know him not. Enter pistol. Flolan, here is the man. I'll be back very shortly. Okay, I'm back, and since we're kind of at a stopping point, I'd like to remind everyone about Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. We have an astounding $628 raised, and with $22 more, we will have provided. We will have provided. I think it's okay. Let me do the math really quickly. It's a big number. Okay. We will have provided 520 people with healthy meals, which is an astoundingly large number and is incredible. And we will have provided home care for 6 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We will have covered life-saving medications for 1 month for 2 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance, and we would have paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So please consider donating to the fundraiser. The link is in the description, and it is also in the chat there at the top. So awesome. Please consider that. Thank you very much. Pistol. Pistol. Captain, I thee beseech to do me favours. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well. Flolin. Aye, I praise God, and I have merited some love at his hands. Pistol. Bardolph. Pistol. Bardolph, a soldier form and sound of heart, and a buxom valier hath by cruel fate, and giddy fortune's furious fickle wheel, that goddess blind that stands upon the rolling restless stone. Excuse me. Flolin, by your patience, ancient Pistol, fortune is painted blind with a muffler afore her eyes to signify to you that fortune is blind, and she is painted also with a wheel to signify to you which is the moral of it, that she is turning and inconsistent and mutability and variation, and her footlook you is fixed upon a spherical stone which rolls and rolls and rolls. In good truth, the poet makes a most excellent description of it. Fortune is an excellent moral. Yay! 1 hour into day 2, part 1.5. Okay. Pistol. Fortune is Bardolph's foe and frowns on him, for he hath stolen a pax, and hanged must be a damned death. Let gallows gape for dog, let man go free, and let not hemp his windpipe suffocate. But Exeter hath given the doom of death for pax of little price. Therefore go speak, the Duke will hear thy voice, and let not Bardolph's vital thread be cut with edge of penny cord and vile reproach. Speak, captain, for his life, and I will thee requite. Flolin. Ancient Pistol, I do partly understand your meaning. Pistol. Why then, rejoice therefore. Flulin? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. I'm going to look that up. How to pronounce because it feels like I've been saying it wrong this entire time. So let's find out. Fluellen. 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 Ah, okay. I see. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Fluellen. Fluellen. Certainly, Enchant, it is not a thing to rejoice at. For if, look you, he were my brother, I would desire the Duke to use his good pleasure and put him to execution, for discipline ought to be used. Pistol. Die and be damned, and fie go for thy friendship. Fluellen. It is well. Pistol. The fig of Spain. Exit. Fluellen. Very good. Goer. Why, this is an arrant counterfeit rascal. I remember him now, a bawd, a cutpurse. Fluellen. I assure you, in uttered as brave words at the bridge as you shall see in a summer's day. But it is very well. What he has spoke to me, that is well. I warrant you when time is served. Goer. Why, 'tis a gull, a fool, a rogue, and now and then goes to the wars to grace himself, and at his return into London under the form of a soldier. And such fellows are perfit to in the great commanders' names, and they will learn you by rote where services were done at such and such a scones and at such a breach, at such a convey, who came off bravely, who was shot, who was disgraced, what terms the enemy stood on. And this they con perfectly in the phrase of war, which they trick up with new turned oaths, and what a beard of the general's cut and horrid suit of camp will do among foaming bottles of and ale-washed wits is wonderful to be thought on. But you must learn to know such slanders of the age, or else you may be marvelously mistook. Fluellen. I tell you what, Captain Cower, I do perceive he is not the man that he would gladly make show to the earl he is. If I find a hole in his coat, I will tell him my mind. Drum within. Hark you, the king is coming, and I must speak with him from the pridage. Drum and colours. Enter the king and his poor soldiers and Gloucester. God bless your majesty. King. How now, Fluellen? Camest thou from the bridge? Fluellen. Aye, so please your majesty. The Duke of Exeter has so gallantly maintained the bridge. The French is gone off, look you, and there is gallant and most brave passages. Marry the adversity was have possession of the bridge, but he is enforced to retire, and the Duke of Exeter is master of the bridge. I can tell your majesty the Duke is a brave man. King. What men have you lost, Fluellen? Fluellen. The perdition of the adversary hath been very great, reasonable great. Marry, for my part, I think the Duke hath lost never a man, but one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Pardolf, if your majesty know the man. His face is all bubblecles and whelks and knots and flames of fire, and his lips plows his nose, and it is like a coal of fire, sometimes blue and sometimes red, but his nose is executed and his fire's out. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. We would have all such offenders so cut off, and we give express charge that in our marches through the country there be nothing compelled from the villages, nothing taken but paid for, none of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language. For when lenity and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentler gamester is the soonest winner. Tucket, enter Montjoy. Montjoy, you know me by my habit. King, well then I know thee. What shall I know? What shall I know of thee? Montjoy, my master's mind. King, unfold it. Montjoy, thus says my king. Say thou to Harry of England, though we seemed dead, we did but sleep. Advantage is better soldier than rashness. Tell him we could have rebuked him at Harfleur, but that we thought not good to bruise an injury till it were full ripe. Now we speak upon our cure, and our voice is imperial. England shall repent his folly, see his weakness, and admire our sufferance. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom, which must proportion the loss we have borne, the subjects we have lost, the disgrace we have digested, which in wait to re-answer his pettiness would bow under. For our losses his exchequer is too poor for the infusion of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint a number, and for our disgrace, his own person kneeling at our feet, but a weak and worthless satisfaction. To this add defense, and tell him, for conclusion, he hath betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. Condemnation, I'm not C-O-N, D-E-M, condemnation is pronounced. So far my king and master, so much my office. King, what is thy name? I know thy quality. Montjoy. Montjoy. King, thou dost thy office fairly. Turn thee back and tell thy king I do not seek him now, but could be willing to march on to Calais without impeachment, for to say the sooth, though 'tis no wisdom to confess so much unto an enemy of craft and vantage. My people are with sickness much enfeebled, my numbers lessened, and those few I have almost no better than many French, who, when they are in health, I tell thee, Harold, I've thought upon one pair of English legs, did march thee 3 Frenchmen. Okay. King, thou dost thy office fairly. Turn thee back and tell thy king I do not seek him now, but be willing to march on Calais without impeachment. For to say the sooth, though 'tis no wisdom to confess so much upon an enemy of craft and vantage, my people are with sickness much enfeebled, my numbers lessened, and those few I have almost no better than so many French, who, when they were in health, I tell thee, Harold, I thought upon one pair of English legs, did march 3 Frenchmen. Yet, forgive me, God, that I do brag thus. This your heir of France hath blown that vice in me. I must repent. Go therefore tell thy master, here I am. My ransom is this frail and worthless trunk, my army but a weak and sickly guard. Yet God before, tell him he will come on. Though France himself and such another neighbor stand in our way, there's for thy labor Montjoy gives a purse. Go, bid thy master well advise himself. If we may pass we will. If we be hindered, we shall your tawny ground with your red blood discolor, and so Montjoy fare you well. The sum of all our answer is but this: we would not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are, and say we will not shun it. So tell your master. Montjoy, I shall deliver so. Thanks to your highness. Exit. Gloucester, I hope they will not come upon us now. King, we are in God's hand, brother, not theirs. March to the bridge. It now draws towards night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and tomorrow bid them march away. Exeunt. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Act 3, Scene 7. Enter the Constable of France, the Lord Rambiers, Orleans, Dufaux with others. Constable, tut! I have the best armor of the world. Would it were day, Orleans. You have an excellent armor, but let my horse have his due. Constable, is it the best horse of Europe, Orleans? Will it never be morning? It is. Constable, it is the best horse of Europe. Orleans, will it never be morning? Dufaux, my lord of Orleans and my lord high constable, you talk of horse and armor. Orleans, you are as well You are as well provided of both as any prince in the world. Dufan, what a long night this is. I will not change my horse with any that treads on but four pasterns. Kaha, he bounds from earth as if he entrails were airs. Le cheval vent de Pegasus chez le Neri des Fous. French. When I bestride him, I soar. I am a hawk. He trots the air. The air sings when he touches it. The basset horn of his hoof is more musical than the pipe of Hermes. Orleans. He's the color of the nutmeg. Dufan. And the heat of the ginger. It is a beast for Perseus. He is pure air and fire, and the dull elements of earth and water never appear in him, but only in pertinent stillness where his rider mounts him. He is indeed a horse, and all other jades you may call beasts. Constable, indeed, my lord, it is the most absolute and excellent horse. Okay. Dufan, it is the Prince of Palfreys. His neigh is like the bidding of a monarch, and his countenance enforces homage. Orleans, no more, cousin. Dufan, nay, the man hath no wit that cannot, from the rising of the lark to the lodging of the lamb, very deserved praise on my palfrey. It is a theme as fluent as the sea, turn the sands into eloquent tongues, and my horse is argument for them all. 'Tis subject for a sovereign to reason on, and for a sovereign to ride on, and for the world, familiar to us and unknown, to lay apart their particular functions and wonder at him. I once writ a sonnet in his praise and begun thus: Wonder of nature, or Orleans. I have heard a sonnet begin to one's mistress, Dufan. And then did they imitate that which I composed to my courser, and my horse is my mistress. Orleans, your mistress bears well. Dufan, me well, which is the prescript praise and perfection of a good and particular mistress. Constable, nay, for methought yesterday your mistress shrewdly shook your back. Dufan, so perhaps did yours. Constable, mine was not bridled. Dufan, oh, then belike she was old and gentle, and you rode like a kern of Ireland, your French horse off in your straight strowers. Constable, you have good judgment and horsemanship. Dufan, be warned by me then, if thy ride so, and ride not warily, fall into foul bogs. If I had rather have my horse to my mistress. Constable, I have as life have my mistress as a jade. Dufan, I tell thee, constable, my mistress wears his own hair. Constable, I should make as true a boast as that if I had a so to my mistress. Dufan, the chen est ritor a son pro Frenchity French. Thou makest use of anything. Constable, yet do I not use my horse for my mistress, or any such proverb so little kin to the purpose. Ramblers, my lord constable, the armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon it? Constable, stars, my lord. Dufan, some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope. Constable, and yet my sky shall not want. Dufan, That may be, for you bear a many superfluously, and 'twere more honor some were away. Constable. Even as your horse bears your praises, who would trot as well were some of your bags dismounted. Dauphin. Would I were able to load him with his desert? Will it never be day? I will trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces. Constable. I will not say so, for I fear I should be faced out of my way. But it would be morning, for I would fain be about the ears of the English. Rambers. Will you go hazard with me for 20 prisoners? Constable. Swear by her foot that she may tread out the oath, Orleans. He is simply the most active gentleman of France. Constable. Doing his activity, and he will still be doing, Orleans, and never did harm that I heard of. Constable. Nor will it do none tomorrow. He will keep that good name still. Orleans. I know him to be valiant. Constable. I was told that by one that knows him better than you. Orleans. What's he? Constable. Marry, he told me so himself, and he said he cared not who knew it. Orleans. He needs not. It is no hidden virtue in him. Constable. By my faith, sir, but it is. Never anybody saw it but his lackey. 'Tis a hooded valor, and when it appears, it will break. Orleans. It will never said well. Constable. I will cap that proverb with there is flattery in friendship. Orleans. And I will take up that with give the devil his due. Constable. Well placed. There stands your friend for the devil. Have at the very eye of that proverb with a pox of the devil. Orleans. You are the better at proverbs. What is the coolest thing you say? What would you say is the coolest thing you've learned from reading through the complete works? Oh, okay. Let me think about that for a second. I'm going through my head everything that I've read. Sorry, I'll definitely answer you. I'm just thinking. The coolest thing that I earned. Okay. I guess the coolest thing that I learned by reading through the complete works is how many songs Shakespeare had in his plays, because I knew that he wrote songs for some of his plays, but especially in the comedies that I read, there were so many songs. And the thing is, there's no sheet music, and so it's cool because Shakespeare has very specific things on when people exit, when people enter. He has very direct pronunciations of his words, but the songs, there's no music written to it. So I think that's one of the things that's very interesting, that adds a lot of creative aspect to reading Shakespeare. Instead of just reading on the page, I've had fun, and it's cool that I can get to make up my own tune to some songs that Shakespeare has written, and it adds a little artistic freedom, I guess I would say. That's a lot, so I'm going to type that up as well. I would say reading his works are the songs. Sorry, I'm just typing this. Okay, I have it's a limit of 200 characters, so that's part one of my answer, and then part two is okay, that's my answer. It's kind of long, but okay. I would say the coolest thing about reading his works are the songs. Shakespeare is very direct with everything he writes, being specific about entrances and exits and pronunciations of his words. Because there is no sheet music and tunes for his I meant to say songs instead of sings. For his songs, it gives me artistic freedom to come up with tunes to his words on the spot. That is super cool and fun, and maybe the most fun part about reading his works. So a few typos in there. Sings is supposed to be songs, and I think and there should be a comma between writes and being specific. But besides that, that's my answer. And actually, I'll be right back. Need a quick take a quick minute break, a quick minute long break. Okay, I'm back. Now I need to find where I was. Thank you. Okay, now I need to find where I was because I don't exactly remember. If anyone who was watching before and is watching now remembers what I left off on, please tell me. I know they were talking about horses. Let me see. I will just start from... I'm going to start a little farther back, like a page back, to make sure that I get everything and not miss a thing. Okay, here I am. Constable. Yet do I not use my horse for my mistress or any such proverb so little kin to the purpose. Rambers. My lord constable, the armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon it? Constable. Stars, my lord. Dufan. Some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope. Constable. And yet my sky shall not want. Dufan. That may be, for your bear and many superfluously, 'twere more honor somewhere way. Constable. Even as your horse bears your praises, who would trot as well were some of your brags dismounted. Dufan. Would I were able to load him with his desert. Will it never be day? I will trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces. Constable. I will not say so, for fear I should be faced out of my way. But I would it were morning, for I would fain be about the ears of the English. Rambers. Who would go hazard with me for 20 pioneers? Constable. You must first go yourself to hazard ere you have them. Dufan. 'Tis midnight. I'll go arm myself. Exit. Orleans. The Dufan longs for morning. Rambiers. He longs to eat the English. Constable. I think he will eat all he kills. Orleans. By the white hand of my lady, she's a gallant prince. He's a gallant prince. Constable. Swear by her foot that she may tread out the oath. Orleans. He is simply the most active gentleman of France. Constable. Doing is activity, and he will still be doing. Orleans. He never did harm that I heard of. Constable. Nor will he do none tomorrow. He will keep that good name still. Orleans. I know him to be valiant. Constable. I was told that by one that knows him better than you. Orleans. What's he? Constable. Mary. He told me so herself, and he said he cared not who knew it. Orleans. He needs not. It is no hidden virtue in him. Constable. By my faith, sir, but it is. No, never anybody saw it but his lackey. 'Tis a hooded valier, and when it appears, it will bait. Orleans. I'll will never said well. Constable. I will cap that proverb with, there is flattery in friendship. Orleans. And I will take up with that with, give the devil his due. Constable. Well placed. There stands your friend for the devil. Have at the very eye of that proverb with a pox of the devil. Orleans. You are the better at proverbs by how much a fool's bolt is soon shot. Constable. You have shot over. Orleans. 'Tis not the first time you were overshot. Enter a messenger. Messenger, my high lord constable, the English lie within 1,500 paces of your tents. Constable, who hath measured the ground? Messenger, the Lord Grand Prix. Constable, a violent and most expert gentleman. Would it were day! Alas, poor Harry of England, he longs not for the dawning as we do. Orleans, what a wretched and peevish fellow is this King of England to mope with his fat-brained followers so far out of his knowledge. Constable, if the English had any apprehensions, they would run away. Orleans, that they lack, for if their heads had any intellectual armor, they could never wear such heavy headpieces. Rambiers, that island of English breeds very valiant creatures. Their mastiffs are of unmatchable courage. Orleans, foolish curs that run winking into the mouth of a Russian bear and have their heads crushed like rotten apples. You may as well say there's a valiant flea that dare eat his breakfast on the lip of a lion. Constable, just, and the men do sympathize with the mastiffs in robustious and rough coming on, leaving their wits with their wives, and then give them great meals or beef and iron and steel. They will eat like wolves and fight like devils. Orleans, aye, but these English are shrewdly out of beef. Constable, then shall we find tomorrow they have only stomachs to eat and none to fight. Now is it time to arm. Come, shall we about it? Orleans, it is now 2:00. Actually, in reality, it is now 3:25 p.m. Anyways, back to Shakespeare. Orleans, it is now 2:00, but let me see. By 10 we shall have 100 Englishmen. Excellent. Act 4, Chorus. Now entertain, conjecture of a time, when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe, from camp to camp, thoroughly through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their pally flames each battle sees the other's umbared face. Steed threatens steed in high and boasted neighs, piercing the knight's dull ear, and from the tents, the armored accomplishing the knights, with busy hammers closing rivets up, give dreadful note on preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and over-lusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tedious a way. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jolt of colour unto weary and all-watched night, but freshly looks and overbears a tenant with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every watch pinning and pale before beholding him plucks comfort from his looks. A largest universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing a cold fear that mean and gentle all behold as may unworthiness define a little touch of Harry in the night. Okay. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace, with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill disposed in brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Exit. I need to refill my water. I will be back in 1 minute. This time I marked my place so that I won't lose it. Okay. Now I have my water. And now I will continue. The Life of King Henry V. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter the King, Bedford, and Gloucester. King. Gloucester. I'm going to need to look that one up. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. How to pronounce Gloucester. Gloucester. Gloucester looks like. Okay. Gloucester. Much better than me saying Gloucester. Okay. Gloucester. King. Gloucester. Sorry. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter the King, Bedford, and Gloucester. King. Gloucester. 'Tis true that we are in great danger. The greater, therefore, should our courage be. Good morrow, brother Bedford. God Almighty. There is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observingly distill it out. For our bad neighbor makes us early stirrows, which is both healthful and good husbandry. Besides, there are our outward consciences and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly for our end. Thus may we gather honey from the weed and make a moral of the devil him, and make a moral of the devil himself. Enter Erpingham. Good morrow, old Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than a churlish turf of France. Erpingham. Not so, my liege. This lodging likes me better, since I may say now lie I like a king. King. 'Tis good for men to love their present pains, upon example, so the spirit is eased, and when the mind is quickened, out of doubt the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave, and newly move, with casted slow and fresh leisurety. Lend me thy cloak, Sir Thomas, brothers both. Commend me to the princes in our camp. Do my good morrow to them, and a nun desire them all to my pavilion. Gloucester. We shall, my liege. Erpingham. Oh, I did it again. It's Gloucester. We shall, my liege. Erpingham. Shall I attend your grace? King. No, my good knight. Go with my brothers to the lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company. Erpingham. The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry. King. Oh, excellent all but the king. King. God a mercy, old heart, thou speakest cheerfully. Enter Pistol. Chez vous là? Pistol. Chez vous là? King. A friend. Pistol. Discuss unto me. Art thou officer, or art thou base, common and popular? King. Pistol. Discuss unto me. Art thou officer, or art thou base, common and popular? King. I am a gentleman of a company. Pistol. Trailest thou the puissant pike. King. Even so, what are you? Pistol. As good a gentleman as the emperor. King. Then you are better than the king. Pistol. The king's a bawcock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, a fist more valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from hearth stirring I love the lovely bully. What is thy name? King. Harry Leroy. Pistol. Leroy, a Cornish name. Art thou of Cornish crew? King. No, I am a Welshman. Pistol. Knowest thou Flullen? King. Yes. Pistol. Tell him I'll knock his leek about his pate upon St. Davy's Day. King. Do you wear your dagger in your cap that day? Do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours. Pistol. Art thou his friend? King. And his kinsman too. Sorry, give me 1 second. We are $22 away from having provided food for 520 people with healthy meals, home care for 6 people struggling in their fight with AIDS, life-saving medications for 1 month for 2 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance, and paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. Okay. Pistol. The figo for thee then. King. I thank you. God be with you. Pistol. My name is Pistol called. King. It sorts well with your fierceness. Exit. Pistol. The king remains aside. Enter Flullen and Gower. Captain Flullen. So, in the name of Chestu Christ, speak fewer. It is the greatest admiration. It is the greatest admiration in the universal world when the true and ancient prerogatives and laws of the wars is not kept. If you would take the pains but to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is not tittle-tattle nor pibble-pabble in Pompey's camp. I warrant you, you shall find the ceremonies of the wars and the cares of it, and the forms of it, and the sobriety of it, and the modesty of it to be otherwise. Goer. Why, the enemy is loud, you hear him all night. Flullen. If the enemy is an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb, it is meet, think you, that we should also look you be an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb. In your own conscience now? Goer. I will speak lower. Flullen. I pray you and beseech you that you will. Exit with Goer. King. Though it appear a little out of fashion, there is much care and valor in this Welshman. Enter 3 soldiers. John Bates, Alexander Court, and Michael Williams. Court. Brother John Bates, is not that the morning which breaks yonder? Bates. I think it be, but we have no great cause to desire the approach of day. Williams. We see yonder the beginning of the day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there? King. A friend. Williams. Under what captain serve you? King. Under Sir Thomas Erpingham. Williams. A good old commander and a most kind gentleman. I pray you, what thinks he of our estate? King. Even as men racked upon a sand that look to be washed off the next tide. Bates. He hath not told his thought to the king? King. No, nor it is not meet he should. For though I speak to you, I think the king is but a man, as I am. The violence smells to him as it doth to me. The element shows to him as it doth to me. All his senses have but human conditions. His ceremonies laid by, in his nakedness he appears but a man, and though his affections are higher mounted than ours, yet when they stoop with the like wing. Therefore, when he sees reason of fears, and we do his fears out of doubt be the same relish as ours are. Yet in reason no man should possess him with any appearance of fear, lest he by showing it should dishearten his army. Bates. He may show what outward courage he will, but I believe as cold a night as 'tis, he could wish himself in Thames up to the neck, and so I would he were, and I by him at all adventures, so we were quit here. King. By my troth, I will speak my conscience of the king. I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is. Bates. Then I would he were here alone. So should he be sure to be ransomed, and many poor lives saved. Yay, 2 hours into day 3, part 1.5. I'm going to end part 1.5 at around 4 o'clock or 4:30 because I have a piano lesson and I also need a bit of a break. And then I will start part 2 at around 7 and go until 10. I will let me see how much is left in Henry V, because it's a lot. Okay. It ends on page 1164. I have 14 pages left. So I may be able to I'll try to finish Henry V. Henry V will definitely be finished today, although I'll probably have to go into part 2. Okay. Then I would he were here alone. So should he be sure to be ransomed. So, and many a poor life saved. King. I dare say you loved him. Not so ill to wish him here alone. However, you speak this to feel. However, you speak this to feel other men's minds. Methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honorable. Williams. That's more than we know. Bates. Aye, or more than we should ask, more than we should seek for, as we know enough if we know we are the king's subjects. If his cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us. Williams. But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make, when all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in a battle shall join together, and the latter day will cry all, we died at such a place, some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I am afeard there are few die well that die in battle, for how can they charitably dispose of anything when blood is their argument? Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, who to disobey were against all probation of subjection. King. So if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be imposed upon his father that sent him. Or if a servant under his master's command, transporting a sum of money, be assailed by robbers and die in many irreconciled iniquities, you may call the business of the master the author of the servant's damnation. But this is not so. So the king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers. The father of his son, nor the master of his servant, for they purpose not their death when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, if it come to the arbiterment of swords, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Some peradventure have on them the guilt of premeditated and contrived murder, some of beguiling virgins with the broken seals of perjury, some making the wars their bulwark, that have before gored the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now, if these men have defeated the law and outrun native punishment, though they can outstrike men, they have no wings to fly from God. War is his beetle, war is his vengeance. So that here men are punished for before breach of the king's laws, and now the king's quarrel. Where they feared the death, they have borne life away, and where they would be safe, they perish. Then if they die unprovided, no more is the king guilty of their damnation than he was before guilty of those impities for the which they are now visited. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. Therefore, should every soldier in the wars do as every... Sorry, I lost my place. Do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience, and dying so, death is to him advantage, or not dying, the time was blessedly lost, wherein such a preparation was gained, and in him that escapes, if were not sin to think that, making God so free an author, he He let him outlive that day to see his greatness and to teach others how they should prepare. Williams. 'Tis certain every man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head, the king is not to answer it. Bates. I did not desire he should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him. King. I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed. Williams. You pay him then. That's a perilous shot out of an elder gun that a poor and private displeasure can do against a monarch. You may as well go about to turn the sun to ice with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after. Come, 'tis a foolish saying. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry with you if the time were convenient. Williams. Let it be a quarrel between us if you live. King. I embrace it. Williams. How shall I know thee again? King. Give me any gage of thine, and I will wear it in my bonnet. Then if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I will make it my quarrel. William. Here's my glove. Give me another of thine. King. There. Williams. This will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou come to me and say after tomorrow, this is my glove, by this hand, I will take thee a box on the ear. King. If ever I live to see it, I will challenge it. Williams. Thou darest as well be hanged. King. Well, I will do it. I take thee in the king's company. Williams. Keep thy word. Fare thee well. Bates. Be friends, you English fools. Be friends. We have French quarrels now, and you could tell how to reckon. King. Indeed, the French may lay 20 crowns to one if they will beat us, for they bear them on their shoulders. But it is no English treason to cut French crowns, and tomorrow the king himself will be a clipper. Exit Bates with other soldiers. Upon the king, let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all hard condition, twin born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool, whose sense no more can feel but his own ringing. What infinite heart's ease must kings neglect that private men enjoy? And what have kings that private have not too? Save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? And what kind of God art thou that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What are they? What are thy rents? What are thy comings in? O ceremony, show me but thy worth. What is thy soul of adoration? Art thou aught else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men, wherein thou art less happy being feared than they are fearing? But drinkest thou oft instead of homage sweet, but poisoned flattery? O be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Thinkest thou fiery fever will go out with titles blown with adulteration? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? Canst thou, when thou commandest the beggar's knee, command the health of it? Know thou, proud dream, that playest so subtly with a king's repose. I am a king that find thee repose, I think? Repose. I'm going to look that one up because I've heard that in a couple of other Shakespeare things and I never thought a lot of it, but I always think I've been pronouncing it wrong. So I'm going to. How to pronounce repose. Repose, huh? I guess I was saying it correctly then. Cool. Repose. Repose. Okay. With a king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the scepter, and the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the interissued robe of gold and pearl, the farced title running for the king, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these thrice gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical, can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave, who with a body filled and vacant mind gives him to rest, crammed with distressful bread, never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to his horse, and follows this ever-running year with profitable labor to his grave, and but for ceremony such a wretch, winding up days and toil with nights with sleep, hath had the forehand advantage of a king, the slave, a member of the country's peace, enjoys it, but in gross brain little wots what watch the king keeps it to maintain the peace, whose hours the peasant best advantages. Enter Eperingham. Erpingham, my lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you. King, good old knight, collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee. Erpingham, I shall do it, my lord. Exit. King, O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts, possesses them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning, if the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, O not today. Think not upon the fault my father made, encompassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interned new, and on it have bestowed more contrary tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have yearly pay, whose twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 chantries, where the sad and solemn priest sings still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. Enter Gloucester. Gloucester, my liege, king, my brother Gloucester's voice. I know thy errand, I will go with thee. The day my friends and all things stay for me. Excellent. And I'm gonna end part 1.15 there, because I'm getting extremely tired, but I will definitely do a part 2 tonight at 7 or 7:30. So definitely make sure to tune into that. And please check out Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS and consider donating to them. It's for a really amazing cause. And we're still just $22 away from hitting the next landmark of people to help. So thank you very much, and make sure to tune in to part 2 at 7 or 7:30. So, yep, please make sure to tune in at 7 and 7:30, and please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Thank you so much, and I'll see you at 7 to 7:30.